Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers as well as coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everybody, it's the Tokyo Podfathers. Guess what? We're back. Because Venom's back. Our big gooey friend, Venom, is back for one last dance. I love talking about these Sony movies, but like not really. With me today, of course, I have are you the Eddie Brock to my Venom or the Venom to my Eddie Brock?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who I want to be.
I would like to be Venom because Venom just seems like life of the party.
Yeah.
Where like Eddie Brock is like, how's your Eddie Brock voice?
Just sounding tired.
Why you gotta be so bad?
Oh man, kill me.
Yeah, he sounds really tired in this movie.
Dude,
Tom Hardy like actually seems so like.
The funniest reveal is that supposedly between this and the first movie, it's only been a year.
Yeah,
Tom Hardy.
I was like, oh, you must have had a rough.
He's gray.
Rough time,
he's
bro.
Markedly fatter. He's just in a rough shape.
I'm just like, probably because he's like, Venom is like that one bro who just like parties like he's still in college,
right?
But he's like 35, and you're like, bro, chill out. And then like Tom Hardy's character is like 35, but has like stopped partying since he was like 26, and it's just like, bro, I can't do this. I'm sorry. There's no way I can do this. And it's like
you'd think he'd be all like emaciated, skinny, just like falling apart, but he's got like.
Well, it's a good thing that like Tom Hardy still does like MMA fighting, like in his spare time. He'll do that for fun.
Maybe Venom made Eddie do MMA fighting.
I've wondered when I actually should have researched when he started doing MMA fighting, because he did that around the time that I think he bulked up. I think, which would make sense. He bulked up like what, 15 years ago or something. He bulked up pre-Inception ? I think it was pre Dark Knight Rises, because he was big in Inception. He was a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to Tom Hardy. I guess we should just start with our overall thoughts with the movie and or our theatrical experience, because I know you want to talk about that.
Yes. Oh, should I just? I saw it in a theater, but I happened to be on like the job in Copenhagen, which has one of the two IMAX theaters.
Can you disclose what you do for work? Just
sure. I mean,
you don't have to give specifics.
We do like streaming, broadcasting, drive around, set up a little
like,
studio,
like actual television.
Not like television, but conferences that want to be streamed, or like corporate meetings, presentations, stuff like that. So we drive around.
Is this kind of like gig work, or is this like full-time stuff?
It's full-time, but also gig work. Because we also like do like film commercials and reporting and stuff like that. So when we're not doing live stuff, we're editing the recorded material. So anyway, I was in Copenhagen on a job, and we had some time off in the evening. So me and a coworker went and saw Venom. And Copenhagen has one of the two IMAX theaters in my entire country. So I thought, I'll give IMAX a try. I've never tried IMAX. I hear it's the way to see movies. And I was extremely underwhelmed. Like I'd heard it was like, oh, this big curvy screen is like your entire field of vision. There's stuff on the side. It's incredible. I was kept looking out to the side, and like there's nothing on the walls and the side. I was like, okay, the screen is a bit bigger. I don't get it. What's supposed to be different? It's just a theater screen.
It's just, what if the theater screen was big?
But I wouldn't know that. Like, if no one had told me it was IMAX, I wouldn't have gone out of the room being like, oh, that felt bigger.
Right.
That was huge.
Can you comment on the sound at all? Was it like
The sound was
come out
good.
a little bit louder?
Like I
Okay.
get doing IMAX for the sound. So like if ever Fury Road gets like a IMAX re-release or something, I would go out of my way to watch it just because it's
Okay.
like that's like the most intense theater experience I've ever had. Just the fucking drums and the spectacle.
Sure.
I love that movie.
Would you say you wanted to witness it?
I would witness it. And it would not be mediocre. It would be incredible. But other than that, it's just like going to the normal theater, and I guess the screen is bigger, but I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it normally. I haven't seen it on a
So
normal
I don't
theater
know
screen.
if they have this in Europe, but there is a format in America called Screen X, which is kind of more what it seemed like you were looking for, which has screens on both sides, like triple screens.
Uh-huh.
And it seems like that's kind of more what you're looking for.
Okay, yeah. Well, what fucked with me was like you come in there and on the sides are these lit up triangles that say IMAX. And then they turned off when the movie started, and I kept expecting stuff to appear over there.
I've never heard of these triangles.
I think they were just signs. There was nothing on them. They just turned off.
Is this? I have to ask. Was this an actual like quote unquote real IMAX theater, or was it one of those quote unquote Limax theaters?
I don't know the difference.
Exactly. Well, most people don't. I have been educated on this, and I still don't care, if I'm being honest. I have a couple IMAX theaters in my state, and by state I mean about 45 to an hour away from me. So it's not really something I go and do often unless it's like something I really want to see in IMAX. So like when they re-released Oppenheimer like every month for a while last year after its initial release, I went and saw it in IMAX like a bunch of times. Made the trip because I wanted to, because the movie was filmed for IMAX.
Well, so was Venom 3 apparently. At least it said so in the beginning.
I have to wonder about the legitimacy of that.
It's a beautiful movie. It looks incredible.
It looks like brown and gray slop. With a little bit of black goop too.
Yeah.
Lots of black. And actually, you know what? There's a whole rainbow of goop in this movie.
But you can't tell because all the colors are so muted.
I know. No, I was gonna say what you probably got was like a Limax theater. It sounds like it's because like IMAX theaters like to pride themselves, or IMAX viewing rooms like to pride that they're IMAX because it's a lot of it is branding, and maybe what you got was like kind of just a movie that was blown up to like IMAX aspect ratio.
I mean, I wouldn't know,
but
I mean,
exactly.
It's said in the movie that it's filmed for IMAX, and this is like a theater.
Explaining what IMAX is to someone who's like just wants to go see a movie and just doesn't give a shit is like explaining like, I wouldn't say like a super smart concept, but just a super nerdy concept to someone who just doesn't give a shit. And they're just like, yeah, but like, does it look good? And you're like, but it looks like this because they filmed it on this camera. And they're like, yeah, but does it look good? Like, most people probably don't care.
I mean, for this movie, it'd be tough to tell because it looked like shit anyway.
Well, yeah, you could film,
but this is why
seeing like any Marvel movie on an IMAX is like not optimal. Like, it's still a Marvel movie. It's just on a bigger screen, I guess.
It's like a big stupid cinema, and they're like, IMAX. We have IMAX. Watch stuff in IMAX, and so I would like to hear
Venom in like IMAX audio. That sounds pretty dope.
I mean, I'm assuming it's correct IMAX. Otherwise, people would be mad because it's the only one in the country.
Oh, really? I'm gonna look this up.
Well, there's like two.
So anyway, tell everyone about your time with Venom, your last dance with Venom.
I was underwhelmed. It's like these movies are on.
I guess we should also talk about our what's our relationship with Venom.
Okay. First of all, I want to say I'm shocked that this is only the 5th Sony movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we've been doing this for a lot longer, but it's only been Morbius, Madam Web, and this. And the only movies before that was Venom 1 and 2, and we didn't do a pod about those.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Did you see this at View?
Yes.
Okay. I
VUE.
found the play. Oh, this does look pretty...
IMAX-y?
When you said signs that said IMAX, I thought you said like they were like laminated paper signs that said IMAX on the walls.
Lit up.
Oh, this looks actually pretty real. Okay.
Right. So they have those things on the side, and I just thought, I kept expecting stuff to pop up there because I'd heard that IMAX is like side vision, whatever you call that.
Oh.
Perimeter?
That sounds like Screen X type shit. I don't know.
That sounds cool. I doubt we'll ever have one here.
Yeah, no, that's a purely American thing, I think. Also, like, wait, do you guys have 40X?
I don't know.
40, do you know what 40X is?
No.
Okay, 40X is like, how do I explain it? It's like a more interactive screening, where like the chairs will rumble during like an action sequence.
Yeah, we did.
And then it'll
that.
It might spray you with mist or something if they're in the water.
I don't think we have any
there might be
theaters
smells
that do that, but I remember Legoland had that for a bit.
Disneyland has a similar thing for like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids called Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. It's been around for like 20, 25 years. And every time I hear about 40X, I'm like, oh, this is just like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Sounds horrible.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. No, I don't really want to be shaking around while watching a movie. It just makes me want to like throw up or something.
It's like a theme park ride all of a sudden.
Yeah, if I wanted a theme park ride, I would just go to a theme park ride, and even then, I would probably not go on the roller coaster.
Yeah, no, we don't have any theaters that do this.
No, but your theater looks nice.
It was a pretty nice theater.
It's got. Does it have the yellow car?
What?
Oh, I was looking at pictures, and there's like a yellow car.
A yellow car?
I was like, this looks like the most Danish shit I've ever seen.
We do like our yellow cars.
For Iron Mask. It's like a car bed thing.
That does sound familiar. It's like in the basement, right? It's like a lounge area?
Looks like the front area or something.
I don't know. Anyway.
Who knows?
I was underwhelmed by IMAX. I will try it again with a prettier movie.
I was going to say, it probably depends on like what the movie you're seeing.
I was shocked that this movie actually said it was filmed for IMAX. I did not expect that.
I think a lot of movies say that, but like, I don't know.
So basically, my takeaway with IMAX is like, it's just getting closer to returning to like the 4:3 aspect ratio, which is objectively the best one. The movies just get taller. Movies got too wide for a bit there. It's time to.
I kind of like the wide.
It's time to make movies tall again.
I think wide looks really good on my television, but I don't know if I want to watch wide on a movie screen. But yeah, so Venom being mid, how was that?
It was all right. It's like it's not a good movie, but I did have an okay time because that
seems to be like the takeaway from most people was like the movie itself not great, but I wasn't like unhappy with my time.
What I'm curious about is like I feel like I've heard that Tom Hardy really loves this role, and he's really invested in these movies, but they are objectively some of his worst work. If I had only ever seen these 3 movies of his, I would not think he's a very good actor. He overacts so bad in the first one. I don't remember.
Well, that's the thing about Tom Hardy is that he kind of overacts all the time. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah, but it's too much in the first. Like, you will never buy him as like a fucking reporter. The way he just assaults people.
Reporters can assault people.
Yeah, but not like this. Not like Eddie Brock does in the first one. Just runs up to people.
Reporter.
Is it true that you're killing children?
Are you killing children?
No, because you would never get anywhere as a reporter doing that, because you're not going to get a fucking answer. You dumbass.
Probably not, no.
Anyway, I thought this movie was about as good as the first one, which is still below mid. It's like 2.5 stars. Then the second one makes the other 2 look like masterpieces. Second one is so bad.
I think the second one is kind of better than this movie.
I don't.
I think the highs in that movie which is like Eddie and Venom like doing the little breakup sequence, and then Venom going to like a club or something, and then having a good time. That's great. Here's my thing with these movies.
Mrs. Chen.
Like Mrs. Chen. These movies should have more Mrs. Chen, I think.
I thought this one had a bit too... It's like, okay, we get... It's not funny anymore.
I guess. More my problem with these movies is like, in particular with the third one, is every time we cut away from Eddie and Brock to the lab, I wanted to like fall asleep, like honk shoe.
Oh yeah.
It's maybe the most boring shit ever.
It's like an episode
I guess I
of
was expecting
Bones.
yes, or like some type of procedural, or just like any. You think a movie involving Area 51 would be a little bit more fun to watch?
Oh, but this one didn't have Area 51. It had Area 55.
Yeah, they should have done Area 51. That would have been
Area
funnier.
51.
Yeah, yeah. Every time they had the lab, I'm just like, where's Eddie and Brock? They're way more interesting. That's kind of the reason I'm here, is for the two friends.
But then every time they were on screen, I was like, please, can they stop talking? God, they're loud.
There's something off about like just how they interacted. It just seemed like they were like, oh, I guess we're here, kind of thing. Like
it's like the one time in the movie I realized how obnoxiously loud the whole thing was in the car scene where he finally falls asleep and the movie quiets down for like 10 seconds. And I was able to breathe, because it's just fucking racket the entire time. Venom never shuts up. It's too much.
I can see why Eddie is like annoyed and just like exhausted all the time.
I can't believe he hasn't killed himself.
Venom is like on coke, I think, and is just like, we have to do all these things. And
it's like if you had
Venom,
a
chill out.
coke addict in your ear 24/7 for a year, I don't know what I would do. I would probably gouge out my own eyes. He's so annoying.
Yeah. There's something lacking in juice in this movie. It's just
part of what
I was kind of bored.
What kind of bothers me is like Venom is supposed to be strong, right?
He is strong, but he seems like such a loser in these movies, which is kind of funny, but also
he's not. He's like 10-foot tall, muscular goo alien who's supposed to like rip cars in half. He spends all of these movies just running. It's the same in Madame Web. She was just running from the police and from the villain. Same in this one, running from the cops and the villain. I guess
they're kind of anti-heroes, right?
It's like they're just running for the entire movie. He's never a badass. This big spiky tooth.
He's kind of cool in like the first movie, ? And the second movie, but in the third movie, he takes like kind of a back seat.
And the excuse is that he's not allowed to fully transform, because then they see
because he has the codex.
He has the Magoo.
Every time they try to explain the codex and like the whole like Venom symbiote world,
you need to understand, Eddie. When we died, we became a MacGuffin.
I'm like, I don't care.
And then we get to see.
That's my problem with anytime that these movies have to like connect themselves to a greater universe or like dump some lore. I just like want to look at my phone and scroll. I just don't care.
A lot of exposition in this movie.
There's
about things that
a character that I do not care about. about a character who's like basically looks like symbiote like Sephiroth. Like I do not fucking care.
I thought he looked cool as fuck. Like that aesthetic is what I strive for in everything I do.
It's like a cool like black metal album cover, but like I just don't really want to fucking look at this.
It's like
don't care.
Diablo 2 Necromancer black metal.
He spends the entire movie just like sitting with his head down, just being like moody.
I was shocked that he never did anything. Like they just kept cutting to him, and he kept sending aliens
like
through.
Alluding to this person's presence, and I'm like, great.
They keep talking about how fucking sick he is.
Instead, they show like these weird. I don't even know what these fucking are. These aliens, like big gooey monsters that
not even gooey, just big like lizard.
They're not even gooey. They're just like they're scaly. They're like alien scaly. And
fucking unkillable,
they'll like
apparently.
eat things and then have like a blender in their head that just like blends everything and like shoots blood out of their neck.
Destroys symbiotes, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of symbiotes. There's a lot of I don't know.
That's when the movie turned into just slop. When it became fucking
Avengers
Assemble Venoms.
Characters that I didn't even like care about turning into
Everybody
symbiotes.
gets
And I'm
a
like,
Venom form.
Oh, great, fantastic! Where's mine? I want to be one. I don't get to be one, and I'm pissed.
The whole thing in the first Venom, is that this Elon Musk character, whose name I forget, is trying to figure out how to bind people to symbiotes. Because
we actually had we were dealing with small potatoes in the first movie.
Yeah,
like there was like, oh shit, there's like a symbiote. What is
for
this?
For a symbiote and a human to bond, they have to be like a perfect match or whatever. Yeah. But in this one, it's just the symbiotes like, just I guess
we could just apply ourselves
whatever
to anybody,
guy
yes.
and it transform instantly.
And I guess it would kill the person overall, like over time, but like you don't really see that in the movie, other than like maybe Stephen Graham's character, who just seems like he doesn't want to be there. Do you know who Stephen Graham is?
No.
He's the one that was in that like. Oh, okay, I'll show you. You'll know who it is as soon as I show a picture. But there's a lot of actors in this movie. There's a lot of British actors in this movie. I realized like half of the cast is British. So you got Tom Hardy.
Oh, that.
You got Juno Temple. You got. We were just talking about this name.
Chiwetel,
I think. Who I think is a fantastic actor in other movies, but he just seemed like he was like here to collect the bag.
Right.
Which I would too. But the guy who plays the dad of like the Van family is Welsh. He's like not American, but yeah. If you saw who it was, you'd be like, "Oh, I've seen this guy pop up."
When I first saw him in the movie, I thought it was fucking Ryan Gosling in an old suit, an old man makeup, because they have the same like weird like crooked face. Like Ryan Gosling has a bit of a slant to one side in his face.
Right. This guy, who I'm going to find a picture of, Stephen Graham, was the detective in like the first two movies, I think. He wasn't Woody Harrelson's character. He was a different character. But he was like, I think, taken over by one of the symbiotes in like the second movie or something.
Do you think... Remember the doctor, Teddy Payne?
Who's the doctor again?
The blonde doctor with the lightning.
Blonde doctor of light. Was she in the...
She was in Venom 3. She was
movie?
the...
Oh, you're talking about Juno Temple.
Is that the actor's name?
Yes.
Okay. Her character's name was Teddy Payne.
The way that you pronounce it sounds like titty.
Titty. No.
Teddy
Payne.
Oh, right. She has like... her brother was like killed by lightning or something.
I want to say
like
she
scars.
must be like from the comics and be like some kind of iconic Venom offshoot, because she's the only one who gets to keep her new Venom form in the end.
Yeah.
Venom.
There was also that one doctor of the Christmas tree on her jacket.
Didn't she die? She died.
She did. They kept cutting to her, I think. And I was like, who is this person? Should I know who this person is?
She had a constant vibe of being up to something.
And then
she did.
Turns out I don't know what she was up to.
Teddy Payne.
She was cute, though.
Is the deuteragonist in Venom: The Last Dance. Teddy is a doctor who became interested in extraterrestrial life.
I don't think deuteragonist is a real word. I think that's a made-up word.
By like deuteragonist
or something. Deuteragonist.
But she becomes the symbiote known as Agony.
Okay, these names for symbiotes should be like one should just be called Disturbed. One should just be called like Down with the Sickness or something. Disturbed. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up Agony. Jesus.
Is there a full section of symbiote names? There should be. Symbiote names. Agony, Riot, Lasher, Carnage, Hybrid, Phage.
Oh, I see what they were kind of going for in the movie design, because like in the comic books, she has like hair and stuff. Yeah, she has like
Scorn, Raze, Dreadface, Taserface.
Taserface. Who comes up with these fucking names?
I don't know. There's also one called Anti-Venom. Mania.
This one's less of a cokehead, actually. It's like, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this design of Agony. It's kind of like, what if what if Venom had boobs? And like we already had that in the first movie.
That was hot.
Which was just gender bent Venom, and like that was cool. We liked that.
Gender Venom.
Gender Venom, yeah. Yeah, this is stupid.
This is bad.
This is the thing, is just like every Venom design is just like, what if Venom, but like we picked a random color from the rainbow.
What if Venom but horse? What if Venom but frog?
Oh, I did like the Venom horse thing. That was funny.
Did you also get a Volkswagen ID bus commercial before your movie screening?
No. I feel like
there's a Venom.
You being European, that makes more sense for you.
Sure. But there's a Venom commercial for the ID bus where he venomizes the car instead of a horse, but it's basically the horse scene.
Can you find this? This sounds amazing.
What horsepower!
What horsepower! Yes.
This was also the movie where I realized that Venom's voice is also Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Also found out that Maroon 5 made Memories.
What?
The song Memories? The play in the end?
Oh.
That's Maroon 5. I didn't know that.
So someone had to tell me that was Maroon 5. I could have, if you had like a Nerf gun to my head, I could have never guessed Maroon 5.
Right. Because it's honestly kind of a jam. I also didn't know it was like 5 years old.
Is it actually a jam? Because like, I guess the Maroon 5 I'm familiar with is like Sunday Morning and like,
right.
You know, songs about Jane or whatever.
They got a lot of hate for being like kind of middle of the road.
They kind of like sold out as far as sound goes, and you're like, oh.
And then suddenly they made this.
It was like, you know, after moves like Jagger, you're like, okay, all right.
And now all the comments on Memories is just like Venom 3.
I'm here because of Venom.
Oh
yeah.
Who's watching in 2024? Venom 3 ID buzz.
You know what it's trying to give? It's trying to give off vibes of like that Wiz Khalifa song being used at the end of Furious 7. See You Again.
Here it is.
Paul Walker tribute.
The subtitles are even in. Oh, it's from the Danish Volkswagen channel. This is New York.
Oh, I like that they just used lines from the movie for this commercial. They didn't actually re-record any new lines. No. It's just...
How fast do you think you can make that thing go without killing it? Only one way to find out.
Wow, they really changed up the VW bug look. Or not bug, sorry.
Buzz.
The van.
Let's go! Road trip!
Well, that explains why there was a you know, the hippie van, the legendary hippie van in the movie.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah, okay. That makes
more sense. Did you also feel like that family got a bit too much screen time? They were in half the movie.
I think I was probably they probably did have too much screen time. However, I think I just preferred seeing that over the lab for the umpteenth time because they kept cutting the lab and I'm like,
they sang.
Can we leave the lab? They did a
sing along and it was like cozy.
Did you like Venom hitting the slots?
No, I thought that was terrible.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to like Venom hitting the slots, and I just wish it was funnier. It was just kind of underwhelming. Much like most of the movie was like, this could have been better.
That's kind of
could have been funnier.
Kind of like what I'm saying with like, if I'd only seen these 3 movies, I would not think much of Tom Hardy's acting, because then you see like the slot machine, and it's just fucking chill out, dude. It's too much.
He's going really big in these movies.
Yeah. Some might say too.
It might be fun for him. Okay, I was going to ask, what are your favorite like Tom Hardy performances?
I liked him in Bronson.
You get to see his dick in Bronson.
Hell yeah, dude. He's good in the Revenant.
Yes.
And then of course, like Bane is iconic, but also silly.
I think he's really good as Bane. I think his Bane is really fun.
But it is kind of goofy.
I got to rewatch that movie in theaters this year.
I would love to see that in IMAX.
Yeah. Well, Christopher Nolan loves that IMAX cameras. He loves them. Yeah, there's a lot of sequences that probably would rule. Just hearing Tom Hardy as Bane in IMAX.
It would be very painful for you.
I was born in the darkness.
Batman.
I was wondering what breakfast. Your spirit?
It's a very fruity Bane, but I like that.
Bane is my Bane like a little bit more fruity?
No, just his version of Bane.
Oh. No, his Bane is like, what if a little posh,
what if I was kind
like
of
British, and then also a little
kind
fruity,
of silly
yes.
with it.
No, it's such a, because like in like the cartoons, Bane was always like smash, Bane,
he's just big stupid muscle
kill.
man.
Yeah, and then like Tom Hardy's like, well, wouldn't it be more interesting if he was like sounded a little bit more quote unquote like monocle wearing intellectual
had a cool
or something?
coat.
Yeah. Or he said, "Oh, I say."
Oh no.
Oh yes. Do you remember like the chokehold that the Bane voice had on society for about 5 years?
I think it still does.
After that movie came out? It kind of does.
You do it a little bit
like,
and everybody starts copying.
Yeah, everyone just like cups their mouth a little bit. They're like, "Oh, it's maybe one of the greatest contributions to
Tom
cinema
Hardy really
in the
loves
past 20 years. Is that
Tom Hardy really loves doing a little voice, doesn't he?
He fucking loves doing. So I watched almost every Tom Hardy movie for this specific episode. Not that it really matters in retrospect, but I thought it would be a fun thing to do. And he's been kind of doing a voice since like his like first movies. Like one of his first movies is Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk
and
Down?
even then, Black Hawk. Oh. Sorry, gotta be really careful. Black Hawk 2 down. Even then, he's putting a little voice on, and you're like, why? He's playing like an American, but like you're like, oh, this guy's been doing a little voice.
This man just loves doing a little voice.
The beginning, yeah, that's his whole entire approach to acting is just putting on a voice, which is kind of fun. Yeah. But have you seen his Al Capone movie that came out during COVID?
No.
It is a really weird autobiography, or not autobiography, just a regular biography. He plays Capone, but it's like at the last leg of his life. It's like the least fun or glamorous era of Al Capone's life, in which he has like dementia. He's like shitting his pants. He's like only 50, but he's like old. He like acts like he's 80 years old, and he never took care of himself. He like smoked cigars and like drank liquor all the time because of like during the Prohibition era. It is like his voice that he does for that movie is so, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's so weird.
Help me, Batman.
Oh no, he does like a 40s gangster voice, like a 20s or 30s gangster voice.
I'm shooting
and it's
myself,
just like, but
Batman.
also like someone who has just like deteriorated in health like 50 times.
Right.
It's fantastic.
How do you feel the Venom movies stack up against the other Sonyverse movies?
I think so far I enjoy Madam Web the most.
Really?
Yes.
That one had the worst performances.
Okay. I'm going based off of like, was I bored watching these movies? And for the most part, yes. That's maybe the biggest sin that these movies could commit is that they're boring.
All really boring. Except Morbius.
Whereas like Madam Web, say what you will about like the quality of that movie, I was not bored watching it. I was like, what the hell is this? What is going on?
It's fascinating.
But I was interested in what was going to happen next. Yes. It was like a fun little, it was like I don't know if fun is the right word, but it was like a more fascinating disaster than like Venom 3 being just kind of boring and mid.
Madam Web was very much an exercise in how the fuck did any of these people end up in this movie? Nobody wants to be here.
How did we get here? I was going to do like a David Byrne voice and be like, how did I get here?
Jerry, how did I get here?
Yeah, sorry. No, my David Byrne sounds more like Jerry Seinfeld. It's Kamala Harris Brett. That's might be my favorite meme.
What's the deal with Madam Web? She doesn't. Does she have powers or doesn't she? What can they do? Nothing. She could just run away for a whole movie. And then she gets blinded by fireworks because she has to be blind for the comics. And then she fired her agent. And now she's maybe gonna be in Sinister 6. There's no fucking way she comes back for Sinister 6.
Unless they give her like
they would have to give her $1 billion
paycheck or something. They have to give you more $1 billion.
More $1 billion.
It would be really funny if they told her to like lean in on like the negative press release type shit.
Yeah,
be like that would, because I feel like that almost got people to watch the movies. Like her being
her being so not interested in talking about it.
Yeah,
God, she did not give a fuck.
But that's like Dakota. But like that's like Dakota's whole thing is just coming off like she's not interested in.
She didn't give a shit before, during, or after that movie.
Dare I say that's weirdly attractive? I don't know why. I'm just like, yeah, please be unimpressed. I love it.
Yeah, but there's like different ways. Like Aubrey Plaza is good at being unimpressed, but in a sassy, attractive way. I don't know if Dakota Johnson is. I don't know.
Dakota Johnson's just a little bit more whispery about it.
Guess.
Like, oh,
it's like she's really like soft spoken
about it. She'd rather not be here, kind of thing.
Yeah, but like she'd rather not be here because
she's a little bit more like
rich. Besides, she doesn't need to be here. She's already rich.
Yeah, her mom's Melanie Griffith,
and her dad is Don Johnson.
Yeah, well, what was her dad in?
Miami Vice.
I don't. Wait, was he one of the Miami Vice people?
Yeah, he was the main character.
Oh my God.
Miami Vice.
No way.
And I think he's in. Is he so in? Cool. No, that's not him. That's Kevin Costner.
He's in Knives Out.
He is in Knives Out.
Wait, which one are you thinking?
I was thinking Kevin Costner in Yellowstone.
You know, if I was drunk and squinted my eyes, I could say, yeah, that's Kevin Costner.
They're like from the same period of time, acting wise.
Kind of, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I have never seen the original Miami Vice. I've only seen the 2006 one with Colin Farrell.
So he's fucking stacked. And her mom is stacked. She doesn't need to do any of this, and I feel like that makes it a little less funny that she doesn't give a shit about it, because like she's completely disregarding just how privileged her position is.
She was dating the lead man of Coldplay, right? At one point,
Chris Martin.
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't that Gwyneth Paltrow?
Who knows? No, I don't think I have.
Aren't they married?
Actually. I don't keep up with celebrities.
Gwyneth Paltrow married
Dakota. Oh yeah, Dakota Johnson.
Oh, she was married to Chris Martin for 13 years.
Dakota Johnson, Chris Martin. Did they split?
Doesn't matter. I don't know. The way she comes off as not giving a shit feels a little.
Do you think if she did Sinister 6, she would do one of those weird promo things again, where she's like, "I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it so much that you're gonna watch it twice."
Actually, I can see the future.
Yeah, in like the most like JOI type of content.
I know you're asking me because you want that to be the truth. Because you like that.
I'm just asking if you think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't think she'll ever do the role. I can't.
If I had the chance to interview her, she did.
That's how bad the movie was and how much she hated it.
She also thought it was going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which like that's on her. Her agent should have like definitely.
She was lied to, and then they made a movie. And she thought they were filming something completely different, and then she saw the final product and fired her fucking agent. There's no way she'd do this again.
If I could interview DJ, I would ask her about that promo, because that is the weirdest fucking like promo I've ever watched for a movie.
I feel like they just didn't give her any direction.
Well, it's the most like sexual energy type of promo for a movie that is so sexless.
Yes.
It was like, and it was only in Russian. It was only like with Russian captions. Like it was for Russian audiences, I guess, which like, what is that fucking mean? Yeah. Yeah, I would love to ask her about, I would love to ask actors about promos, like, or like ads they have to do. Cause like that shit seems, I'm sure it's part of their contract, but like,
I don't know. Do directors not try to? I feel like no one tried to instruct her, direct her in any of this Madame Web stuff. Like they were just say something, say whatever you want.
So yeah, Dakota, can we just like read this line? And she's like,
"Hornier, please."
Yeah.
Hornier.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you be more?
Sure.
can you come off way more horny in this? They're like, wait, what?
I'm Madam Web, and I can say that for you.
How much?
They're gonna.
Is that like your Dakota Johnson impression?
Yes.
Could you make her sound Valley Girl?
Yes. I don't know what is she.
Do you remember Valley Girl? Do you remember the Valley Girl movie with Nick Cage? Did you know Nick Cage was in that movie?
No.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, he's been in a lot of movies.
Bro,
so, like,
I have not seen all these movies. You're the movie man.
Sorry, it's okay. I hate being the movie.
You
man.
are the movie man.
Well, I was going to say, can we go back to Venom? I wanted to say this about Venom. Yes. I wanted to make this point, is I think Venom is inherently one of the worst type of characters you can make a movie around.
How so?
Because he just seems like a mascot first. Like as a character design first, character second.
Yes, very much.
I will say this. So they re-released all the Spider-Mans this year in the US in theaters. Spider-Man. Spider people.
Spider-Man.
Inclusive. Spider-Man. So of course I watched the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi trilogy.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched
fucking Kino.
3. Well, dude, let me tell you. I think 3 kind of better than people remember.
I low-key
go back to
agree.
Venom.
Like it got a lot of hate at the time, and in some ways rightfully so. Like it's doing too much. It did not need.
There's a lot going on.
3
It's
villains.
A busy. It is a busy movie.
They could have entirely cut out Sandman, and it would still be a fine movie. Give Venom some more time.
Probably. I think I used to be like Sandman is the better,
actually no, yeah,
better arc of that
Venom
movie.
And
when I
the
first
other two.
Well, actually, I was about to say I've kind of done not a 360 but a 180. I think Venom is kind of the best part of 3.
You think? He's barely in it.
I think. Well, the symbiote is actually more of a symbol of like depression or like substance abuse, and I guess that for me. I thought that was kind of a more compelling way of like showing the symbiote.
That
than,
just
like,
reminded me of that fucking post of like Peter Parker turns evil, immediately says shalom. What did they mean by this?
Shalom. No, they the black suit is like a symbol of like, depression and all that shit. And I just found that way
it's
more
a symbol
compelling
of being
than, like,
cool, Bex. He starts dancing and eating cookies and hitting on his cute neighbor.
Yeah. And then he hits Mary Jane, and like that's a tough scene to watch.
Yeah, well, maybe she shouldn't have been such a bitch about it.
Well, maybe. Kirsten Dunst was one of my first crushes. Like seeing them in a movie, I was like, oh,
who?
Wow. Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah.
MJ.
Did you see her in Small Soldiers?
No.
Have you seen Small Soldiers?
I saw her in Jumanji. Have you seen Jumanji?
I have seen, yes. Oh, she's in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen Small Soldiers, though?
I have not seen it in about 20 years.
That is a fucking great movie.
Joe Dante, yeah. I have not watched it in a while. But no, seeing her in Spider-Man was like, oh, this is my crush now.
She is very pretty.
And it's like, she seems really lovely.
Also, I feel like she hasn't been in anything since Spider-Man 3.
She's been in movies. She was in Civil War this year.
Not in anything I'm watching.
Oh, well, sounds like a
skill issue.
Personal problem. I was going to say. I mean, if you want to go there. Well, let's see. What else was she in recently? She was in Power of the Dog, which I think was a good movie.
She was?
That was a Netflix movie.
I did see The Power of the Dog
with Benjamin Cucumber. She was in an episode of Black Mirror.
Did not see that.
All right, whatever. Yeah, it seems like she took kind of I wouldn't say a break, but I think post Spider-Man she did a little bit less
I think
work.
You could take a break after making 3 Spider-Man movies. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot of money, and that's kind of a lot of work too. Those are big movies. Yeah. What was I gonna say? What point was I gonna make?
Oh, you were talking about Spider-Man being re-released and Venom being best part of 3.
Best part of 3, in my opinion.
I should rewatch 3.
I think there's a lot to appreciate about 3. I think the pacing, the breakneck pacing and how busy it is works if you've watched more movies that kind of have that vibe. So like for instance, like if you've watched a lot of like, let's say like Bollywood or Tollywood cinema from India, which like a lot of those blockbusters just are like 2.5 hours long and have like a bunch of shit going on. This movie like makes a bit more sense in that regard. I don't think it was influenced by that, but it has a kind of similar like, we're just going to keep fucking throwing shit at you
right
all at once kind of energy. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Anyway, I don't think Venom, I've never read the comics, but I've never found the character of Venom outside of 3 to be that interesting.
No. He is very much...
So making a whole movie, and in retrospect, making a whole trilogy around it makes kind of no sense. It's like making a movie about the Joker.
Much like Boba
in a
Fett.
sense.
It's a character who is carried entirely by their design.
Their design and also like the limited screen time they have.
Yeah, Boba Fett looked cool standing around in a couple scenes, and now he has a whole season.
He has like a little jetpack that he uses sometimes, and like that's
now
cool.
He has a whole season on Netflix, and everybody hated it. Because it turns out there was nothing to his character. He's just a fucking bounty hunter.
I think sometimes less is more of certain characters. Like, you don't need... Not every character needs to have, like... This is... Go back to my problems with Venom is, like... Giving Venom, like, all this lore and, like, world building about his home, like... I just kind of don't care. Yeah. Like, a lot of it is just, like a wiki article that I could read instead of just
shows up
watching.
In just a bunch of different comics for no real reason. Like, it's very deeply ingrained in the Marvel Comics universe.
It is weird, from what I understand, it is weirdly ingrained in the entire, not even just the movies, but like the comics. Like, it's like important. Like, isn't the God Butcher's sword made of symbiote or something? Something like that.
Now it's revealed that the symbiote is like older than the universe because it was made by Null, and then they rebelled against Null, and so he has been imprisoned ever since. And
so, like, Null, like, how powerful is this guy? Like,
well, he's supposed to be like a Thanos or worse level threat.
Why would you introduce this in the last Venom movie?
Because he can be.
Understand.
Because there's gonna be more. Madam Web and Morbius are gonna fight him. The Sinister Six, all these incompetent jackasses who spent their entire movies on the run from the cops.
I would love to be the guy that is like trying to sell this idea to like Sony execs and be like, "Yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking huge, dude. It's gonna rock."
Who created the symbiote and the God Butcher sword. He is older than the universe. He can kill everything instantly. He's gonna be fought by Madam Web. And Morbius and Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, do you think he's going to be in, like... Oh, maybe Sony is just waiting to be bought out by Disney or something, and then they can just put Null in... Is it Null or not? Like
It's Null, like Null, as in nothing, but it's also apparently a funny thing, because in Swedish it means to fuck.
They spell it with a K. Yeah. Nice.
So that's funny.
See, well, here's the thing about Swedish, is that, like, I learned that speed...
It's fart.
Swedish is fart, and like I saw a poster for the movie Speed, the Keanu Reeves movie,
fart.
And you're like, it just says fart on there. Yeah, I'll show you the poster. It's really funny, actually.
You drive along the highway and it says fart control.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Swedish.
The fucking
not a real
police.
Language. Straight up. It's that's such an unserious language. Like who let this happen?
And at the end of
this is the Madam Web
movies, it says slut.
Yeah. And you're like, no wonder no one in the world can take you seriously, Sweden. We only want you for your furniture, and that's it.
And even those they give shitty names. That said, those words are the same in Danish, so I shouldn't make too much fun.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to make fun of the Danes, but I will make fun of the Swedish.
You always make fun of the Swedish.
Because I have Finnish people in my family, so like
it's always morally correct
to do that.
To make fun of the Swedish.
Yes,
it's the only thing.
Actually, I saw a trailer for a movie recently that made fun of the Swedish language, and they're like, a character is speaking gibberish, and they're like, no, it's actually Swedish that they're speaking, and I was like,
ha, got him, stupid idiot.
Good shit.
You know who else speaks Swedish? Dr. Michael Morbius.
He does, doesn't he?
I think Morbius is my favorite of these Sony movies.
I can't wait to watch. I was about to say Kraken, but it was Kraven.
Kraken.
It would be fun if it was Kraken.
Dude, Kraven the Hunter looks so fucking fire. It's gonna be so good.
It might actually be the best Sony movie. Who knows?
It's got the.
Am I coping?
Whatever his name is.
Am I coping to like
Taylor Johnson?
Aaron Taylor Johnson cinema?
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy as the titular Kraven.
The ATJ.
The ATJ. He's a great actor.
It's got Russell Crowe. It's got my wife. What's her name? Fuck, I forgot her.
Rhino is apparently going to be in it. It's nice.
Is he going to be reprised by Paul Giamatti?
Probably not, because this is like a different Rhino. This isn't a suit. He can this guy can turn his skin to stone.
I think they should give it back to Paul Giamatti because I think
he got to be Rhino for all of like 2 seconds, and then the movie ended.
Yes, they should give it back so he can have his own movie.
I'm honestly excited.
And I love Paul Giamatti. Like I'll let him do anything. Yeah. Who am I thinking? Oh, Ariana DeBose. That's my wife. She's gonna be in that movie.
I think Morbius is as a coherent movie, start to finish. I think Morbius is the best of them.
At this point, I don't even know if I care about a coherence. I'm like, if I'm paying like $20 to see a movie, am I gonna have a good time with it?
I have seen Morbius 3 times. Not only once in the theater, but I have seen it
twice at home. You're like, I'm gonna put it on again.
Yeah. It's honestly just kind of a chill
I
movie.
love that for you, buddy.
Matt Smith is
I really like that
way over the top. The design looks terrible. Jared Leto is extremely attractive.
You think he's attractive in that movie?
Oh my god, that shirt off reveal
you think he's
shot?
hot?
That is incredible.
You think he's like?
Yes. So,
do you think Matt Smith is hot?
No, because he has that face. He has the Matt Smith face.
He has too much face.
He has too much face.
Like, yeah, if he was born in an earlier time, he could be like in a 40s noir because he has so much fucking face.
He's got face to spare.
Yeah, he's got like he could donate some face to charity or something. I don't know.
But like when people who
face.
have seen Morbius, they tell me like it didn't make any sense. I'm like, well, you're stupid. You didn't pay attention. Of course,
are you gonna be like weirdly superior about Morbius of all things?
Just everything about it made sense.
It kind of sounds like you are.
Everything about it made sense. There's not a single point in it that didn't make sense. You just had to watch the movie and pay attention.
What if the movie was so boring that I didn't want to pay attention?
Skill issue.
Is that a fair? No. This is movie's issue.
Movie issue.
Craven. Are we Craven?
I'm fucking Craven at the. Isn't it? It's like over a year delayed now, isn't it?
Yeah, because of the strike. Yep.
I need it. It's gotta be like early.
I can't
2025,
wait to watch every Aaron Taylor Johnson movie now. It was supposed to come out like fall of last year.
It's kind of crazy to think that like we have the Sonyverse has been going on for a long time. First Venom was a long time ago, and now
it was weird to think that like the first Venom was 2018, and like we just got to the third Venom movie,
and now we're gonna have like within a year we'll have had 3 Sony movies.
That's been the year of Sony. There hasn't been
was like February. March.
There hasn't really been a Marvel movie outside of like Deadpool and Wolverine, which
barely counts as a Marvel MCU movie, I guess. It's like related.
Well, I mean, Deadpool is part of the
MCU I know, but they don't really do anything related to the Avengers in it. It's just like it's
kind of like
connected.
It's like
it's
not like the most Deadpool way. Like, oh hey, I know what this thing is.
Right.
I know I'm in a movie.
It doesn't really fuck with any of the Avengers stuff.
Did you see that movie?
Which one?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, of course.
How did you feel about it?
It was okay. A bit much at the end. It's like I get that it's meta and fan service is a part of that, but Jesus Christ, that was a lot. It's way too much. Of course, what's his name? Hugh Jackman was great in it.
He's jacked.
Huge jacked man. Was awesome. He's always great as Wolverine. I love the opening of them literally defiling his grave. It's like this character had the most celebrated superhero send-off of all time. Let's ruin it. And just...
Let's jack off over it. Let's jack off over the fact that Disney owns like 70% of all media. Isn't that great, you guys?
Yes.
That was my entire takeaway about the movie. Is Deadpool jacking off about Disney acquiring Fox. Yep. That's what the movie spoke to me. Yep. I thought Channing Tatum in that movie was like the best part. But to make a name for myself.
God, that just took off. It's like, you just make sure people know what happened here today. It's fucking great.
Should he have gone to jail for that accent? Possibly. Did I like watching it? Hell yes.
Would they have thrown him back out of jail because they couldn't stand it? Yes.
You'd be like, this guy's annoying.
We don't know what he wants.
No, I meant like Channing Tatum should be thrown into. Do you think he would get himself out of jail for speaking that accent?
Do you think that accent is why him and Zoe Kravitz broke up?
I wonder. If that's an actual.
You think he can just walks around at home speaking Creole?
He's like, whoa, but then I got a name for myself. What was I gonna say? No, I didn't like that movie a whole lot.
No, yeah, it was.
It's
a fine time, but it's a bit
I seem to dislike it the most out of everybody. I actually like the first two Deadpool movies. I think 2 is really good. Actually,
2 is great.
I think 2 is like low-key an underrated superhero movie compared to the others. Whereas 3 felt like kind of took away the stuff I liked about the first 2. But I mean, not really the humor. The humor is still kind of there. Never really been big on like Deadpool's humor in the movies. It's kind of hit or miss for me. But more so like, I guess the themes of the movie, the first 2 movies, are like kind of abandoned in the third one. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't want to think about this movie. Did you ever watch Joker? I just watched Joker too. Oh, did you watch the second one?
And I don't think I'm gonna.
I would recommend not watching it.
Right.
It's very boring.
Okay.
It is maybe the most. It's a weird movie in the sense that, like, I think Todd Phillips hates you or hates anyone that actually watched the first movie.
That's what
Not that they liked or disliked.
I hear about the second one is that he hates that the first one resonated with the people it did, and now he made the sequel to kind of flip them off.
Not only that, but it also flips off the people that didn't like the first movie either. Like, it seems to not know what it wants to say.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah, which is like, okay, then who's this movie made for?
Himself.
Like, why would you make this movie?
It's made for Todd Phillips.
I guess. I'm like, all right.
It's a movie that says, I'm the only one who understood the first one.
Well, yes. I mean, I would expect nothing less from the guy with the gentle touch of, I'm looking here, Old School and the Hangover trilogy. Yes, I would expect him to handle these themes with care.
I have never seen the Hangover trilogy.
I just finished the Hangover trilogy a couple days ago.
Is the first one at least good?
It's good in 2009.
Okay. Oh God, that's a long time ago. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. Like it's like the second and third one is like the first movie, but with like diminishing returns.
Like it keeps escalating, right?
Literally, the second movie is like plot for plot, beat for beat, like the first movie, except it takes place in Thailand. That's the entire movie.
Is it the third movie that's like kind of a heist movie?
The third movie is kind of like the third movie has John Goodman.
I heard one of them is like weirdly a heist.
Yeah, the third one's kind of a heist movie, and it's like not as fun for that. Right. It's also like kind of a bit more of a serious one because it's like a confrontation of like one of the characters' like tendencies, which is Alan, Zach Galifianakis' character. It tries to be a little bit more serious, and it just like that's not what people go to these movies for, like at all. But yes, Joker 2 was so boring, actually.
Do you think Venom is dead?
I don't think he's dead. I think he's going to come back.
Because, like, the only Venom that got to walk away was Agony, the lightning lady.
Juno Temple one, yeah.
For, like, no
I don't know.
real reason.
Do you think she's going to be in Secret Wars?
I don't know. Is there gonna be a Secret Wars?
Yeah, there's gonna be Doomsday at least, right? Operation Doomsday or whatever.
Is that
Is this the one with
no,
Robert
this is
Downey
like
Jr.
proper
being...
MCU. No, she's not gonna be in proper MCU. There's no fucking way.
They might. They might.
No.
Remember when Michael Keaton's character showed up in
Yeah, he got
the end
transported
of
from the
Morbius?
MCU into the
And he's like,
Sonyverse.
I hope the food's better
And then
here.
nothing
And I'm
else
like,
happened.
Wait, why are you here?
Adrian
Yes.
Toomes,
It was wonderful.
the Vulture. Yeah, he and then he met up with Morbius in the post-credit scene, and then that was the last anyone ever saw of that character. And they said,
It was awesome.
I hear about this Spider-Man. Then it ended.
The food's better here, yeah.
Better get in on these action. And then Morbius is like, yeah, Spider-Man, even though no one's like, why would you know who that is? You're in San Francisco, you weirdo. No, wait, no.
Yeah.
Venom is in San Francisco.
Well, Eddie Brock is in San Francisco. You know who I was expecting to be in Venom 3 but wasn't?
No.
Is Eddie Brock's ex-girlfriend, Michelle Williams' character.
Ew. Right.
She's just not in this movie, and I'm like,
Well,
she was kind of fine in the first two movies.
She's living her life with her new husband, Chad, or whatever.
Oh, she married Chad.
Did you ever see Matrix 4?
I watched the first Matrix this year.
Ever seen any of the others?
I have
Oh
not.
my god. The fourth one is an experience. Resurrections, I think.
That sounds
What's
awesome.
it called? I think it's called Resurrections.
Or Resurrections, yeah.
There's a character named Chad in it. It's great.
I love a good Chad. So, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Very, very attractive man.
Mr. Kick-Ass.
Mr. Kick-Ass. Mr. Bullet Train.
He's a handsome man. Oh, to bring this back to Madam Web, married to the director of the first 50 Shades of Grey movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's like way older than him, too, right?
It's a little peculiar.
That's kind of...
I have to wonder about that.
I'm all about dude is living the dream. The problematic age gap, but for reals.
I love a problematic age gap.
Fuck yeah, dude. How old is he? Oh, wait.
He is like 34.
Okay.
She's like
57.
Actually, I don't know. Okay, so when they met, let's see. They met, I believe.
He was 18 and she was 42.
You know what? Okay. You know what? Fine.
Film set.
I don't know the whole
movie
story,
Nowhere
and
Boy. When he was 18 and she was 42.
I can't wait to watch that either this month or next month. If they stop doing this whole like Sonyverse thing, that will probably keep me from just watching entire actor filmographies in the future, which sounds awesome. I mean, I don't have to do this to myself, but it is fun to do
the thing
it
is,
to myself.
It's like this Venom 3 has made $300 million. It cost 120 to make.
Oh, on a budget of what, 200? Wow, that seems cheap.
It seems cheap.
For
so, I mean, it has made itself home, but it's like
it was spent on all the CGI goop.
It looked like fucking garbage.
It looked pretty bad.
The first.
Did you know it was to bring it back to 50 Shades of Grey scriptwriter? It was directed by the scriptwriter of 50 Shades trilogy,
and you can tell.
And she wrote the first two Venom movies. That makes sense, because I think the juice of the movies has always been Eddie and Brock being this couple that kind of hate each other, and that's what makes it cute. But
I guess
you were saying.
I was saying the first Venom almost made $1 billion.
Yeah, it made a lot of money.
The second one made $500 million, and this one has made $300 million.
Well, the second one also came out during COVID.
Sure.
So
this one didn't though.
In a different time, maybe it would have done better.
This one didn't though.
This one did not,
and it only made a third
I think maybe
of the
people.
First one.
There has been a long time discourse about like, how do I say it? Fatigue about superhero movies. This has been going on for a couple of years now. Since last year.
Every time a superhero movie kind of flops, it's like, oh, superhero fatigue. It's been
are we over
superhero fatigue has been a thing for 10
people
years.
People came out to go see Deadpool. People went to see Guardians 3. That made almost $1 billion worldwide. Why? Because it's a good fucking movie. Yep. Because people love.
Did people go
movie.
see Ant-Man Quantumania? Probably not.
Fuck no. I saw it. It was bad. It was really bad.
Movie.
It looked like poop. CGI poop and
How
goop.
much did it make? $500,000, $500 million.
Yeah. But you have to think about how much was spent on like marketing and stuff
And
like
that was
that.
supposed to be the introduction to Kang, like the new Thanos level threat.
Yeah, and they were like, you know what? This
guy's
the
a
Praise
sack of
King,
shit.
sucks. Yeah.
Let's
fuck
introduce
this.
Null.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there is a superhero fatigue of sorts? Or just, do you think people are just kind of be yapping?
Well, superhero fatigue in the sense that we're not going to watch all superhero movies. More selective about it, I guess.
I think we'll watch the ones that we're actually interested in.
Yeah.
Or characters that we actually give a shit
we had
about.
a solid 10 years of just going to see every single Marvel movie because they were all connected.
Because it was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because like the first 4 or 5 Marvel movies were like, oh, these are pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were good.
I'll keep watching.
Post-credit scenes
and then you got
that
to
tied
like
them together,
Avengers.
and then they did the Avengers, which Avengers.
The Avengers
first
like
one-
shouldn't have worked, but it did.
The first Avengers movie is like a feat of superhero movie. It's like how can you have 10 main characters and it still works? It's incredible. And then it's like,
and then we just kind of kept watching them. And we're like, this is not. Then when you get to like Age of Ultron, it's not as good.
Like it just
and you're like,
they finished it off with Endgame. It was like the perfect cap to that whole thing, and then they've just kept it going with TV shows since. And I feel like people are sick of it.
yeah, I think there's too much stuff. It's like TV shows about characters like kind of don't
like,
care about. If I'm being honest, it's like the same thing with like Star Wars. Like it's like, oh, we're gonna have another Glup Shido or whatever.
Shit.
And I'm like,
that's right.
yeah, that's what it feels like in a lot of
Jimmy
Marvel things. Like,
Scrambles.
oh, an Agatha series. Oh, a spin-off series of like the one good Marvel series that you had.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
Here's
was
a
like
series about
4 or
Boba
3
Fett.
years after it.
Here's a series about Andor. Apparently Andor was good though. The Acolyte. Here's Jack Black and fucking Lizzo as main characters in an episode of Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that necessarily, but just like the
what were
like
they thinking?
it's spreading it too thin, too fast. Like,
And that's kind of what MCU has done by relying on TV shows for the last 5 years. It's like, I saw WandaVision and then nothing of the rest.
like I haven't watched like Loki season 2.
No, me neither.
Because like I'm just like I just don't
And
really
now
want to
this
sit down to
whole,
watch
like,
homework.
Timeline continuity business, whatever.
Oh, the variants
Yeah.
thing and like
It's like
that's
at
boring.
the center of Deadpool and Wolverine, and I did not need to watch any of the Loki stuff to get it. It's like, okay, yeah, there's this central agency that keeps the timelines in check. Great. Easy.
Yeah, the more it feels like homework, the more I'm like, I just don't want to do that. I also have a hard time watching television. I say this as someone who just like watched both seasons of Twin Peaks, but that was watchable television. I had a good time.
Yeah,
I liked hanging out with my
I
friends.
have a hard time watching
at
live
Twin
action
Peaks.
television because it's like, it's too long. Episodes are too long.
I watched The Bear recently. The Bear's really good, actually. It's only like 30-minute episodes. Pretty watchable.
Someone ordered food at my fucking restaurant and now I have to make it.
Behind. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. No, the only real life television I watch is old episodes of Midsummer Murders.
I watched a lot of Frasier this year. Frasier's good. I like Frasier. Like, I'll watch like 20-minute like episode sitcoms. Like that's the only way. I can't watch like long ass prestige television that looks like shit.
I'll watch British stuff because at least it's got like whimsy. It's cool.
British shows are good. British shows are chill, actually.
Usually it's like a season is 3 episodes and each episode is 90 minutes.
Yeah, and they'll come out like every 5 years or something.
Yeah.
And they'll come back for like a holiday special or some stupid shit. I'm like, oh, this rules.
I kind of want to go back and watch like Father Ted and Jonathan Creek, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Father Ted is just so epic. I hear you're a racist now, Father.
As far as like later releases going,
Mm-hmm.
so we have Craven. We're both optimistic? Question mark about Craven?
I'm at least very excited. I don't think it's going to be a good movie, but I think it's going to be a good time.
It looks very dark in like lighting.
But they
I'm like,
all
oh,
do
I'm kind
that.
of sad
The
about
Sony
that.
movies, they all
Well,
like
right.
muted, dark bullshit.
Well, like Kraven in particular looks like, can you just flip a switch on? Like, did you forget to like turn the lights on, bro? Like,
and all the scenes are taking place outside. It's like, did you forget to turn the sun
how do
on?
you be outside and like not? Did you cover the sun?
What the fuck are you doing? Maybe it's Null. Maybe Null showed up.
There's Captain America. Was it New World Order or something?
Is that a movie or a show?
Illuminati. It's a movie. It's Anthony Mackie.
I have no idea what's happening in the MCU movie wise. What was the last like Avengers one? Probably Quantumania, right? That can't be right.
That was not Avengers. That was an Ant-Man.
Yeah, but he's like Avengers related. He fought with the Avengers. He was in Endgame. Deadpool wasn't in Endgame.
The Falcon.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, so that's the next one. What was the last one?
I guess we're thinking flagship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternals?
Let's see.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
MCU lineup. Okay. What else do we have going on this year? There's a lot of TV shows coming out this year. The MCU. I don't care. Oh, Superman. James Gunn's Superman is next year. That should be good.
Timeline is because it says like She-Hulk 2025, Love and Thunder. Like, what the fuck is this?
Where are you finding this?
This was on Marvel Cinematic Universe Wikipedia. Oh, we're in Phase 5 now. Is what it's called. Captain America: Brave New World, February 14th. And then to Thunderbolts? I don't know what that is.
Thunderbolts is a bunch of characters from other movies that are kind of their own. I wouldn't say Avengers, but they're like their own team.
I forgot they made the Marvels. That's the last one.
Oh, I haven't watched the Marvels yet. I should watch that.
That was November 10th, the Marvels. And then before that was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, great movie. And then it was Quantumania, shit movie. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was the last James Gunn for Marvel, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's gonna reboot DC. I'm very excited for that.
Wait, did you not know this?
Right. He's doing all of the new DC stuff.
Well, he's head of DC. I don't know if he's doing every movie.
No, he's probably not directing every movie, but he's head of it, and I think that's very promising.
Yeah. Yes. I'm excited about that actually.
Fuck yeah. Is DC gonna be the new Marvel?
There's so many Phase 5 like timeline pictures, but they're all like a bunch of bullshit because there's like, what if there was an Eternals sequel? What if there was a Thor 5? What if there was Illuminati War? There's like a Star-Lord thing. Like, what is any of this?
I don't know how much of this is speculation. Here's like Fantastic Four in 2025, Avengers Doomsday 26.
Unless there's a picture from like Comic-Con that I can find, I don't really.
Spider-Man sequel in 26.
Blade's supposed to come out within our lifetime. Who knows? Probably. Blade's
Secret
not coming
Wars
out.
is in 27. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Fantastic Four? I'm sure that's fine. That's fun.
Who's gonna be in that?
Vanessa Kirby, I think.
Kevin Feige is just
Pedro Pascal.
He's getting that bag.
Yeah.
He was producer in every single movie. But where does a Null fit into all of this?
Where do you go after Kraven? Like
Sinister Six.
Because you can't have the 6 yet.
No, because there's only 5.
Well, Sinister 5? That's not an alliteration. That's not the same.
If they make a Sinister 6, they're gonna have to figure out how to get a 6th guy in there. They already imported one from the MCU in Vulture. They have Madam Web, Vulture, Morbius, Venom, Kraven. They need a 6th.
I guess that's where Rhino comes in.
Nah, he's not Sinister 6 material. He's just like a goon. A gooner. They need like a
goon sesh.
Like classically it's been like Mysterio or Dr. Octopus or stuff like that.
I don't think they're going to make a Mysterio movie.
No.
Not without Spider-Man.
No. Mysterio was already in MCU.
Right.
Mysterio is such a fucking dope character design. What if they got MCU like 2022, 2002 Dr. Octopus to be in the Venomverse?
You mean played by Alfred Molina?
That's his name, yes.
Are you just suggesting No Way Home again?
Yes. They already did that by sending Vulture into Venomverse. Why not this guy?
Is it the Venomverse? They sent him into the Morbiusverse, right?
That's the same verse.
Is it, though?
It is. Because in Morbius, they reference the events in San Francisco.
Oh, right. I kind of forgot that.
No, it's all the same verse. That's how there's like 5 of them together now. Well, not together. They've never met, except for Vulture and Morbius.
What
for no
other
reason.
Spider-Man villains can they do?
There's so many. There's
At some point, they're going to have
Shocker,
to bring in Spider-Man.
Scorpio. There's so many.
Oh, do you think they're going to introduce... Well, they're going to do They're doing a 4th Tom Holland movie, supposedly. They're shooting next year. This year and next year. I wonder if they're going to introduce the other sinister guy in that movie.
No. What they're gonna do, because in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man 3, No Way Home, you see Eddie... What's his name? Eddie Brock? Yeah. You see him get sucked back into Venomverse, and a little bit of the symbiote is left over in the Hollandverse.
Hey, you did ask me if Venom's gonna come back, and I'm like, yeah.
Right. They've planted the seed for Venom to be a part of the MCU.
I love a good Venom seed.
There's a bit of symbiote.
Do you think Eddie Brock and Venom have explored each other's bodies?
I mean, of course they have. Question is like, did they mean to, or was Brock cool with it? I'm sure Venom has done a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Venom seems really cool about consent.
Is that your cock, Eddie? Yeah, buddy, that's Eddie. My cock.
Yeah, buddy, that's my cock. Yeah.
Not now, not now, Venom. Why not, Eddie?
I love cock.
I love cock, Eddie. I'm an actor, Eddie. Of course I've had gay sex.
Oh, have you seen the Tom Hardy movie Legend, where he plays a set of twins with like
no
different voices?
Yeah,
so it's
of
basically
course it's
him
different
doing
voices.
2 voices.
It's like that's his thing.
They're two. It's like a pair of like gangster twins in like 50s or 60s Britain. It's hilarious. Good shit.
Hey, Mr. Hardy, we have a role for you. Do you think you can play this guy? Yes, of course. Hello. I can do a little voice.
Can I do a little voice? You're like, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Cool. And like, oh, excellent.
Great.
I actually have no idea.
Then he just does a horribly racist Chinese accent. Dresses up as a Chinese man and gets introduced like the lady in Twin Peaks.
Wait, which lady in Twin Peaks? Catherine.
Catherine, yeah.
We were just talking about this. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Chinese ladies.
Mrs. Chen.
The fan favorite.
I'd hang out with Mrs. Chen. She seems cool. I like that Mrs. Chen knows Venom and is just like super cool with Venom.
My buddy. I love that the Venom reference in Across the Spider-Verse was not that Venom was in it. It was Mrs. Chen.
It's just Mrs. Chen. Yes.
It's like that's how little they kind of wanted to acknowledge that movie in Across the Spider-Verse. Like, we don't want to show the character. We want to show Mrs. Chen.
Wasn't Across the Spider-Verse just such a good movie?
It was.
What a fantastic...
But I still feel like it's like it didn't end.
It was a part 1.
Right. And now it's been so long.
That was a big year for part 1 movies. Because you had Across the Spider-Verse part 1. You had Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning part 1. Which ended on an actual cliffhanger. Like, Ethan Hunt was hanging
on a cliff
in a train car. Yes.
Nice.
It was quite funny. And then you had Fast and Furious 10 ?
I don't think I ever saw 10.
You could skip it.
No, I have to watch them all.
It's not very good.
I just started I got a PS2 emulator for my PC. I started playing Most Wanted, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Surprised you couldn't just get like a PS2 at this point, because those probably go cheap.
Probably could. But Need for Speed Most Wanted is one of these games from an era where it's like they're not being sold on PC or anything yet.
Well, they hate making money, so they're just gonna not cross-platform stuff.
Well, no, what's crazy is that it was also on PC at the time, but it's just never been re-released for some reason. It's like 2005.
Well, they hate making money, like...
I guess.
Yeah, they love to leave money on the table.
But it's fucking great. It's like the greatest soundtrack of any racing game ever.
Would you say this is your most wanted game to play?
No.
Oh.
That is, rad. Robot Alchemic Drive. Another PS2 game where you control mechs from the POV of a guy on the sidewalk. So you look up, you control each arm and leg individually. It's fucking nuts.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. What will they think of next?
Sinister Six movie.
Sinister Six. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck the sixth... They're gonna have to find a sixth guy before they can make a Sinister Six.
They should just hire me. I'll be the sixth guy.
I also didn't know that Madam Web was meant to be a villain.
Yeah.
Sinister Six are all villains.
I guess that's the confusing part about the movies, that she's kind of depicted as like a hero question
She's
mark.
like a Professor X kind of. She guides the youth with her powers.
This is kind of the problem when you just do characters in the comics who have only shown up for like maybe 6 issues.
It's when they make movies about characters who are meant to be villains, but they have to be the main character, so they can't just kill people.
This is the same thing with Venom. This
They
is the
have
same
to
problem with
fight-
Venom, and I guess Morbius to an extent as well. Is like, okay, it's really weird to make like an origin story of like a villain and then also like frame them as kind of the hero, because like in these movies, Venom in particular, it's really fun when it's like just Venom and Brock or Venom and Eddie just being catty towards each other. It's fun. I like that. It has like big like 2000s rom-com vibes.
Yes.
But then the movie's like, well, we need to have like a villain. I'm like, do you though? Can you just be a rom-com?
No.
Can you just be a relationship movie?
Way.
Why do these movies have to be like a superhero movie?
Because
you can easily, like, if you're just gonna do a character that's like best when they're bouncing off other people, just do that. Why do you have to make it like a typical comic book movie?
Because that's the rules.
Doesn't make
Max.
any sense to do that. I
It's
guess
the rules of comic
I
books.
suppose.
And when you
No, I just find it like annoying because like every time you get to that part in like each of the Venom movies, the movie comes to a grinding halt.
that's like with all these movies,
The lab
they
stuff.
they have to show
The Knoll stuff. Why?
the character as being like morally ambiguous or like on edge with the law. That's why they're always running from the cops. But at the same time, they have to fight something that's worse than them so that they're not the biggest villain in the movie.
Yeah, but once you have someone worse than them, like, I don't know, that just like sucks all the air out of the room for me.
Because like
I
on the
just
one
don't
hand,
personally care.
Venom is fighting the big bad alien. On the other hand, he did bite 4 people's heads off.
Why not make this like a character-based drama or just a character-based like comedy or something? Why does it always have to be like, well, we need to defeat the bad guy? And I'm like,
I don't know.
Do you though? I understand these movies are effectively for younger people, maybe kids or something, but I don't know. Can we evolve past that?
No.
Can we tell different stories with these characters?
It's too late for that.
I guess
Consume
so.
product. Don't ask questions.
I wonder if the villain writing is like, or like making these into superhero movies based on characters that only really work if they're bouncing off another person, is like studio mandated. Like you have to put in like carnage. You have to let there be carnage. You have to let there be agony, or whatever the first one.
Maybe
or
they
whatever the
maybe
one
they
for the first
presented a
movie was.
script that's like, what if they just had like a couples counseling
What if they
crisis
just had a road trip?
for like
what?
2
yes.
hours, and then the
What
big,
if 2 was like a big
stupid
breakup
boomer
movie and it was
CEO
like kind of sad? Yeah.
But who do they fight?
Yeah, but like, what other comic characters are there? I'm like, no. It's just 2 characters figuring their shit
That's
out.
not enough.
And it's
we
funny.
need someone big and scary for the poster. There need to be stakes.
We need to let there be carnage. And I'm like, You don't have to let there be carnage. You don't have to do that.
There could be a little carnage as a treat.
Yeah, maybe Venom creates carnage in the city just because he's so not over this breakup or something. Because he's moody. That would be funny. But like, no, we have to include all this other lore shit that I don't
find a big bad guy
personally care about.
And you have to let
I don't know. Maybe I've
the
just
viewer know that
maybe I've just grown up or something, and I just can't do like this silly shit.
Slop. Yeah, well, there's gonna be more of it, so get ready. We're gonna watch Kraven. It's gonna be great. We're gonna find out how he has like his own moral code, and that makes him a good guy, but at the same time the law doesn't like him.
He's also a hunter of animals, so like, that might be bad.
Yeah, but only like evil animals, I guess.
Okay, well, like, how do we judge that though? Like, who are you to?
I think the movie is gonna show you. Well, he gets mauled by a lion.
Well, maybe he just had bad vibes. Maybe he was unpleasant to be around. The Venom, and not the Venom, but the lion.
And then he gets a bit of lion blood. He gets that dog in him, and then he becomes Kraven.
Yeah, he gets that dog in him.
It's almost like Catwoman. It's like Catwoman becomes Catwoman
a little
by
bit
getting breathed on.
Did you ever watch the Catwoman movie?
Yes, it's really bad.
I should watch that for Halle Berry.
The basketball, I mean, she is the reason to watch it. It is farcically bad.
She's got moves.
She's got
hooping
the
moves.
fucking moves. And that basketball scene is something else. But yes, she gets her powers by almost dying, and then a cat breathes into her mouth, and then she just is a Catwoman. And in this, the guy gets bled on by a lion, and he gets lion powers.
If a cat breathed into my mouth, I'd probably just like throw up and not get superpowers. But maybe I'm built different. I don't know.
A cat yawn smells unlike anything else.
Ugh. Gross.
But it's also cute. I fucking love cats.
There should be more cat-related heroes.
There is honestly a lot more than dogs. Black Cat, Catwoman, Kraven is like lion-themed. Black Panther. There's plenty of cats.
Yeah. Kraven wears
He
kind
gets
of a
his
lion
powers
thing.
from being bled on by a lion. And he wears like the
Yeah.
big lion's mane. So he is like apex predator as presented by lion.
He's like essentially boofing lion blood, which is crazy.
He's drinking tiger blood. He's winning.
He's winning. God, remember that was also around the same time as Bane. Is like the whole Charlie Sheen thing.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Is he still
I think he's still alive.
doing coke? Like, oh, good for him.
He got AIDS, didn't he?
What?
I think he's got.
He got Magic Johnson.
I think he's got AIDS.
All right, I'm just gonna look up Charlie Sheen. See what old Chuck is up to. He's still, he's only 59.
That's nuts.
He seems way older than that, just by the vibes.
You're thinking of Martin Sheen.
I might be. His bro.
His dad.
Martin Sheen is 84. Holy shit. Martin Sheen is 84?
His papa.
Why did I say his bro?
You can be bros with your dad. Yeah, November 17th, 2015, Sheen publicly revealed that he was HIV positive.
Congratulations.
First of all, congrats. But why is it written in past tense that he was HIV positive? Did he stop?
You mean like he just paused on the HIV?
Yeah,
He's like,
was it
"All right, I'm
cured? Or did he die?
I'll come back to this later, yeah.
It's like, I don't have time for this. He drank some tiger's blood.
God, that was, 2012, early 2010s was like...
It was kind of peak.
Kind of a crazy time pop culture-wise.
Kind of peak.
Because you had the Bane voice, you had the Charlie Sheen. That's when memes were just getting big.
You had
on the internet.
Harlem Shake, screaming goats.
You had like reaction images, or not reaction images, but
that
like
was earlier.
Memes.
Yeah.
Well, like you had memes with like the macro text on them, or pictures of the macro text.
You had Vine. Vine was there.
Vine was Vine was around.
I think Vine was in 2012.
Yes, 2012. We need to go back. We need to return.
It was a stupider time, but also
we
great.
used to be a proper country. Because we'd have like business advice stuff. Was it like advice animals? Yeah.
That was advice animals and like macro memes. That was earlier than that. That was like troll face era. That was late tens.
I think
not tens.
Well, they reached the normies at around
late
2000s.
Because that was also around the time people got Facebook.
Yes.
And iPhones.
There's also 9gag. 9gag is still around.
Good for them.
Yeah, I don't know what they do, but
probably the same as everybody else. Serve up ads.
Have you ever come across someone who was clearly from like 2005 still? Like just in references that they make or just how they talk?
You mean besides myself?
Yes. Like mentally, like there's something like they have not been on Twitter ever. They have been.
No. Have you?
Mostly from like they're from like early 2000s internet, but they're only 18. I've met someone like this.
They're so 2000 and late.
Yes. Thank you for
have you met someone like that?
What?
Like what you're describing?
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
Right.
I have met someone who just feels, I want to say like there's like a certain like internet purity about them. Like they have not been like irony poisoned or anything or like.
Oh, to be so pure.
It is. Yes. You sweet summer child. Yeah.
You have no idea how bad it really is.
Yeah, there's something so like, oh, you have not been on Twitter. You don't really know what Twitter is. Not to say that like Twitter will break you, but like you become a different person if you spend time on Twitter, I think.
It's like thinking about where my life would be if I had never found Twitter and Reddit.
Yeah.
It'll be way different.
Like there's something like weirdly old school about them. Like a past era of just their vibes.
They only listen to Creed.
They might. They actually might.
Nickelback, Creed.
I've come across someone like this and I was like, you are interesting because you are just from a different era. Like, you fascinate me. I just want to learn
PlayStation
things.
2 games and nothing else.
Quick, who is the president of the United States right now? Which war are we in?
William Clinton.
What if she just said, like, George W. Bush? I'm like, oh my God, you have been frozen in sleep for years. It would be really funny. I'd be like,
dude, that's the plot of a fucking movie.
Wake up.
Guy meets girl. Girl only knows pop culture stuff from 2003. What year
up to
is
like
it?
2008 or something. Like the last movie they watched was like Juno or like Twilight.
But she's so dense, she hasn't realized that she's traveled 20 years.
Or not even
time.
that she's so dense. She's just so like
disconnected,
sheltered from these things. Yeah, she's so disconnected that she just kind of like unplugged herself
that
in like 2008 or something.
In the future.
Yeah.
I have so much to show you.
And then compared to the other person who's just like way too fucking online.
Yeah.
They're
scrolling.
Like, oh my God. We're probably too online. Just as
some
people
might say.
Yeah. You know, in the past couple of years, I've tried to make efforts to be less online, and I think it's helped me.
I haven't. And I'm the worst for it.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Nah,
I think.
I've given up.
Or maybe you don't. Fuck it. You know what? You got. That's up to you to decide. Have you seen watched any good movies lately?
I don't watch as many movies as you do.
I don't think anyone does, and I feel like
I watched recently. Let me check my trusty Letterboxd.
Handy dandy Letterboxd.
How the fuck does Letterboxd work? How do I see my stuff I've seen?
Do you log things, or you just mark it as watched? Because you could log things in your diary, and it would help you keep track of stuff.
I review stuff.
Okay.
Oh, I watched Borderlands.
Well, buddy, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta.
I had to see this travesty, and I'm gonna watch. I saw like a clip of some French animation, a movie called Ernest and Celestine, like a bear and a rabbit. I'm gonna watch that soon because it looked very nice. The animation was very pretty, and also like French accent girls. It's like,
oh, do you want to hear? Would you like a movie recommendation about some French girls?
Y'all.
Yeah. Okay. have I got a movie for you that I watched recently. It's called Red Rooms.
Red Rooms. Les Chambres Rouges by Pascal Plant.
Plant?
Plant. Pascal Plant.
Pascal Plant? Well, you can't... Well, the thing with French is you don't always pronounce the last vowel or consonant, I think. Yeah, it's just plun. Maybe it's just plun. No, really kind of a fucked up movie without like being explicitly fucking up as far as like visuals. It's more about what's implied. It's very much about going on computer, specifically the dark web. It's probably one of the better depictions of the dark web. It's very interesting.
Web noir.
Yeah, it's kind of a web noir, a little bit.
I don't know. I just like hear women speak French, or French women speaking English.
Well, the main
French
woman speaks a lot of French. She speaks a bit of English too.
So that's even better.
Yeah, but yeah, good movie. Check it out. It's
nice.
Kind of gives you the uneasy feeling. Yeah, the sequences when she just goes online are like without music. It's just the wind blowing in the background. It's very spooky. It's just her in her apartment, and she just like the way it's shot and everything is like very unsettling. I'm like, oh, ugh. Just kind of get spooked thinking about it. But yeah, good movie. French. I watched the movie Joe versus the Volcano recently. It's a really early Tom Hanks movie.
Oh.
Meg Ryan. Oh, fantastic movie. I love it. Meg Ryan plays 3 characters. All of them different, but like it's a cute movie. He has to go to a volcano because he has a life-ending illness, and he's offered a bunch of money to just go to an island to basically sacrifice himself to a volcano. The reasons for it are kind of unclear. I guess it's kind of a journey of self-discovery.
Did I ever talk to you about the movie Aniara?
No, I don't know what that is.
That is a Swedish science fiction movie based on...
Oh, it's a Hinga-Dinga-Durgan type shit. Ugh. Oh, man.
I forget if they speak Swedish. I think they do. But don't let that
what is this
about?
You.
It is about a colony spaceship that is knocked off course and them waiting to turn back around. It's like Earth is migrating to Mars.
Oh! Have you seen Sunshine?
No.
That's the way that you're describing it sounds similar to the film Sunshine.
Well, then I'm interested. This is a very bleak movie. It's like just a movie about hope slowly dying for the entire ship. It is extremely like the most hopeless thing you'll ever watch. I love it.
Oh, fantastic. I love that.
Very depressing.
Okay. Have you heard of the film Sunshine?
Only Eternal Sunshine in Spotless Minds.
Oh, this is a different Sunshine.
Oh. In 2007?
It's a space movie.
I do love me a space
where they go
movie.
to the sun.
50 years into the future, the sun is dying.
Loki stacked cast.
And Earth is threatened by Arctic temperatures. A team of astronauts is sent to revive the sun, but the mission fails. Spoilers. 7 years later, a new team is sent to finish the mission as mankind's last hope.
That first mission is like...
Oh, you saw it because Cillian Murphy is in it? Cillian Murphy?
No, I watched it because I wanted to finish every Danny Boyle movie, and I did. It's actually quite good.
Chris Evans is in it.
Cillian Murphy is really good in it. Weirdly, that movie is less available to watch post Cillian Murphy Oscar. You think they would try to boost that, but Aniara is good.
Aniara comes very highly recommended.
It's on Hulu. Fuck yeah, I could watch this. God, you know what's really good though? It's Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks
is
the
best.
Would you say it's Twin Peak?
It's 2 peaks. Actually, it's double peak.
Double peaked? Double peak action.
Double peak. I do love a good pair of peaks.
Oh my god, is the title like a boob joke?
Possibly.
It's also a real place.
Possibly.
But
remember when David Lynch's character just shows up in Twin Peaks and he's just
very
a guy
loud.
who can't hear very well.
Yeah, he's fucking great. What's his name? It's like FBI director or something. Gordon.
Yeah.
He's extremely
He just
loud.
wears headphones at all times. It's really funny.
Like every scene, no matter where they go, it's always like
I can't hear you.
You'll have to speak up. It's like the gag that anytime they go anywhere, Lucy has just decked up like 10,000 donuts.
Oh my god! Every time they have the office and there's just like
the
20
catering
boxes
is just out of this world.
And then in like the meeting room, like Coop has already just organized all the donuts in some fucking weird geometric pattern. Like, okay,
he's playing with the food, and no one ever eats them.
I love that so much. The damn fine cup of coffee. Did you know there's actually a tourist location in the where they shot Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
There's even a little diner and everything that serves pie.
Yeah.
And apparently the pie is garbage. Like, it's famously like a terrible pie. It's just there to be sold as like a tourist thing. It's not even like good pie.
I do want to go see it. My parents went there.
I would like to. I should go visit because I live one state away from that area.
Up near the border.
I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it would be like a few hour drive.
That's nothing.
But yeah, it's nothing. Actually, I should look up where that's located so I can make a trip.
I forget. Do they have the hotel there too? The whatever it's called.
Oh, the lodge.
The lodge.
Is it the Red Lodge or the Black Lodge?
I think it's called the Black Lodge, but that sounds very ominous.
Oh, do you know Twin Peaks is a separate franchise? It's like a restaurant franchise. I think separate from the TV show.
Oh.
But that's funny. Yeah, that's...
No, I did not know that.
Hilarious. I should watch The Return. I gotta get around to that. I gotta return.
Extremely strange.
Well, that's not surprising.
In a way that really doesn't mesh with the original at all. Like going from the original to that, it's such a whiplash.
The original is pretty strange.
Yes, but not in a very different way.
In like a late era Lynch kind of
in
strange.
A very warm colors and some background music, stuff like that way, where the new one is just cold and extremely harsh and no music. It's just it's the tonal whiplash is complete.
Well, there is 25 years of time in between them. I did the Leo Point meme in the last episode of Twin Peaks when like the character, I won't say who, is like, I'll see you in 25 years. And I'm like, oh, he called the shot on the return.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Now, was that planned for him to return in 25 years? Was that always the plan, or is it just a happy accident?
It's a happy little accident. Who knows? Who knows? Looking up the... Alright, if we're talking about Twin Peaks, we should probably, at this point, probably wrap this up, because I have nothing to say about Venom. Other than
we ran out. I feel like we didn't say much about Venom at all. As is tradition for these episodes, we hardly talk about... It would be really funny
if we just... If Craven is actually like so bad, then we just like talk about like Jason Statham movies for like an hour instead.
We could do that. We could talk about The Beekeeper.
I was gonna say, guess what I did this year?
Watched all of Statham movies.
No, I watched quite a bit, but I did Crank It this year. There was even some High Voltage involved.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Oh my god.
Yeah, Crank rules. Hell,
Crank
fucking
is
yes,
so
my
good.
Guy. Crank rules. It's one of the few movies that they like adapted it like video games effectively into a movie. Like,
yeah,
it's better than most video game based movies. Like, it understands video games so well, like a good arcade game or something.
And we'll never get a third one because after they made the second one, Statham got very famous. He's way too expensive now.
And his rate probably would have been stupidly high. Yeah.
Yes, no way they'll ever make a third one, but they should. Maybe they'll do one in 25 years.
Yeah. Well, like also those movies are like a little racist at times.
Oh, a little?
Oh, literally, yeah.
He goes
Those
to
movies
the
are
social club or whatever.
I'm like amazed at. I'm amazed that the first one exists, but I'm doubly amazed that they even like were like, yeah, let's make a second one and make it like somehow even more transgressive.
A bunch of angry Asians, a bunch of angry
I can
Mexicans.
see why Jason Statham would never come back to a third one because it would probably look bad for him. But
what is he called? It's like the ferret. They say it in Spanish. You do know him? No, it's just the ferret in Spanish. Crank to the ferret. El Huron.
El Huron. Yeah, those movies are fucking wild. Those are.
I fucking love Jason Statham. He's so great.
He does this exact same thing.
Yes, he has one gear.
He has one mode.
And then in Beekeeper, he got a bit of a beard on him, and suddenly he was, and it's like
he seemed to have like visibly aged, and I think the facial hair.
And they gave him like kind of a weird accent. It's like mixed American English thing.
Like it's the accent he probably should have had in the movie Homefront, where he's clearly in like the South, and you're like, okay, well he can be British, but also have like a little bit of a twang or something. Like, come off like he's been living here for 20 years or something.
I don't really know how to describe his accent.
You know, actually, maybe British. Well, not everyone that's like not from here picks up the accent. I actually recently had a conversation with an older woman on a train a couple weeks ago from the UK, and she's been living in Oregon for like 30 years. Mm-hmm. She never picked up the accent.
I mean,
she still speaks with a posh accent.
You listen to Lars Ulrich speak in any Metallica interview. He's been living there since he was 18. Fucking San Francisco. He's horrible Danish accent. Also, shout out to Chester Bennington in both Crank movies.
When I saw that Chester Bennington was in both movies, I'm like, hell fucking yeah.
Hell yeah. And in Saw.
I did the Leo Point meme at that as well. I was like, yo, hell yes.
He was in one of the Saw movies.
He was in Saw 3D. His trap is where the skin on his back peels off.
He's sewn to the seat of a car or something.
Yes. Ugh. Just picturing that, like, ooh, makes me squirm a little bit. Because I like having my skin on me, personally.
That is the best place to have it. On you.
You don't want to wear someone else's skin?
I didn't say that. But the best place to have your own skin is on you.
Can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that.
Okay, Craven, we'll crank it. Cranking it. You know, if we had a Jason Statham podcast, we would just call it Cranking It with Jason.
Cranking it.
Cranking it would be really funny.
Man, I should rewatch just the Crank movies again. Like for the 5th or 10th time. I don't know how many times I've seen them. They're so fucking fun.
How many Jason Statham movies have you watched?
A lot, but far from all of them. Because I keep just going back to like Crank.
You just keep cranking.
I can't stop cranking it.
I think you have an addiction to cranking it. I can't stop cranking it, bro.
Music by Mike Patton. Yeah, it's fucking. The second one is fucking Kino.
High voltage. What if the voltage was high?
High voltage.
It would be really funny if we just didn't talk about Craven. If Craven is so boring, we can just talk about anything else for an hour.
We'll just sing memories.
Thanks for the memories.
Here's to the ones that we got.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Fall Out Boy song.
No. Or it could be the Weezer song.
Thanks for the memories, even if they
makes me
so
want to go back there.
Oh, I think that Maroon 5 song kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
I don't like that song. I really don't like that song.
Maybe it's just because I haven't been exposed to it.
It sounds like something that would play at my work. And I would hate to hear it.
It is very mall-core.
It's very shopping center music.
A little bit.
Like music, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just because it's new to me. Apparently it's been out for 5 years, but I just haven't heard it.
Yeah. If you told me it came out yesterday, I'd believe you.
Yeah,
that's
right.
kind of, yeah.
Like I saw it in like a Family Guy montage. I was like, what is this cute little indie song? And then it's like, Maroon 5. What? What do you mean? First of all, they still exist? That's crazy.
What, shopping malls?
Yes, but also Maroon 5.
Hey, they still make. I mean, they probably make $1 bazillion touring. People,
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion. Is that how we're going to be judging Craven's box office? Is a gorilla? Oh, no, sorry, I was thinking about Venom's box office. $1 million.
Venomillion. Vanillion.
But yeah, $1 trillion for Craven.
That's got to be Gorillion.
I'm calling it now. $1 trillion. But hey, maybe after if Craven bombs, we would never have to do these again, probably, unless we really want to do Spider-Man.
But that wouldn't be the Sony Spider-Mans, would it?
No, it would be Tom Holland, right?
I mean, we could, but the charm of these is that we're talking about these shit-ass Sony movies.
Well, maybe the Tom Holland movie is shit-ass.
Are we just gonna do another two white guys talk about movies podcast? Just like that genre of podcast?
No, I think that market is pretty saturated. It's almost funnier just to do the shit-ass Sonyverse.
We should do a true crime podcast. That's a pretty open field.
We should sign up as a movie podcast hosted by two friends. It's a competitive advantage.
Two friends on a couch.
But here's the catch. We make jokes sometimes, which no other podcast has ever done.
So there's this anime girl, except she's got huge tits.
What was I gonna say? We could. Oh, there's Sonic. That's not even a Venom.
Ooh,
it's not even a Sonyverse movie. But Sonic's this year.
It's not even a Sonic movie. It's a fucking Shadow movie.
Oh yeah, it's Keanu Reeves' movie. I think Keanu Reeves.
Can't believe they actually got fucking Keanu Reeves.
Yes, I really would have liked, like Robert Pattinson as like Shadow. I think that would have been. That would probably have been good. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to hear Keanu Reeves in it because it's always been my opinion that he's not very good at speaking as an actor. I
think
he's very good at.
I think he is really good at a
vibes.
certain kind of thing.
He's a vibes-based actor, and he's good at action. But his speaking,
I think he's really good as like. I think he's actually kind of campy.
Yes.
I think that's why it works in the Matrix.
Kinda.
Honestly,
also
the
he
Matrix
has like
is kind of campy.
Matrix. He has like 7 voice lines, all told throughout all 3 movies.
Remember when he has to download like all types of fighting into him, and he's just like, "Hell yeah,
I know kung fu."
It's like the best part of the movie, actually, where he's
saying
like,
I can dodge
I get
bullets?
to download kung fu. Hell yeah!
Are you saying I can dodge bullets?
I was gonna say like, what's that movie where he's kind of a stoner, where he's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Yeah, that's really fucking. He's so funny when he's like doing like.
He can do that,
I guess.
But then he gets.
Well, I guess where it utilizes his like unique way of delivering lines.
But then they made the way later sequel, and he's horrible in that. His delivery sucks.
I never watched that one.
Yeah,
but
it's like he lost all the camp in that one. It was just bad.
But yes, I do think Keanu Reeves is a good actor depending on what kind of project
you have to use him right, but I would never see him as just a voice actor. It's like, that seems like the worst thing you could hire him as is only his voice.
Well, depending on the voice he's doing, it could be really fun.
I'm hoping it's fun.
And Shadow seems weirdly kind of the thing for Keanu.
I'm hoping
because Keanu can do brooding.
Yeah. What did you do? What I had to.
What I had to.
Like, that could be good. It's gonna be good. The Sonic movies don't miss.
I think they're gonna make Shadow kind of funny in a way that they made like Knuckles funny, because Knuckles is voiced by Idris Elba, who's like a very serious actor, but like what works about Knuckles and Idris Elba to an extent is that Idris like plays it really straight, and that's what's funny. That's where the comedy comes from.
He's Drax the Destroyer.
I think
he's completely just straight-faced.
Yes, it is a
serious, proud warrior.
I think Keanu is going to play it pretty straight, and it's going to come off as funny. And I feel like it's going to be that's where the comedy comes, because I think Sonic should be funny.
So far they haven't missed with any of it, so I don't see why they would now.
I think it works when like the movie is silly, because Sonic as a concept is kind of inherently silly.
Though I am sad they have not announced. Well, maybe, I mean, it's not too late. Maybe she will be in the movie.
They're gonna announce Rouge. What if they were saving Rouge for like the third movie and they're like, hey, here's Rouge, jack off.
And then I'm gonna go to a solo screening because I'm gonna be furiously cranking it.
It's like a porn screening. You're gonna be it's great.
Gonna be cranking my hog in the back.
Do you remember like back in the 70s when they just had like porn theaters? You could just watch a porn movie.
Of course,
you just
I
watch
remember
porn in a movie theater.
When I was alive in the 70s.
That's wild that they just had that for such a long time.
Sitting next to Pee Wee Herman as he cranked it in a porno theater.
He did crank it, yeah. He was a cranker. Yeah, where did those porn theaters go? We gotta bring this back.
I've always wondered, like, do you just sit in there and jack off? Just with all the other guys? That seems like so
you just
uncomfortable.
Like sit there with a boner? Like, is that what you're...
Are you supposed to just sit in there and get all rowdy and then go home and jerk off? It's like...
Do you wait?
Should you do it in there? I don't know.
See, okay. I'm sure you have, like, porn shops or adult shops in where you live, right?
I don't really know. I don't think so.
Like a sex shop of any kind where you can buy sexual related objects. Yeah. Does your place have like how do I put this? Rooms where you can watch a DVD or a movie
I don't know.
or something?
I've never been in there.
I actually applied for this place like years and years ago. It's called Adult Shop. It's a great name for an adult shop. Very to the point. When I had the interview, they asked me if I was comfortable with like, you know, the contents of what's being sold there. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they asked me about like, are you comfortable cleaning up after like these rooms? And I'm like, what rooms? I don't remember what they called it, but it was basically a room where people would jack off. You could rent a DVD. It was literally the size of like a broom closet, probably smaller than that. And there's a place to sit. There's like a TV screen. There's a door so you can close it or lock it or whatever for privacy. And you would watch the movie and you would like, you know, do your thing. And then you would get out. And then I guess the person working there, their job would be to clean up after that session. And I thought, yeah, I could probably handle that. I was really desperate for a job at the time, so I would just say yes to anything. But now at this point in my life, I don't think I would do that.
No. It seems like so many extra hoops to jump through to jerk off to porn.
You could just look it on your phone, bro. Like,
just part of the kink must be to go and do it there. Otherwise, you just go to the public library and jerk off.
Right. Do you live with other people and you just don't have an opportunity to do that? Which, I mean...
Like, I don't know, fucking go to McDonald's and do it in a bathroom there. You can get bathroom spaces. You don't have to go to a porn shop.
I don't know. Yeah, just like, why not just go to a strip club or something?
Why
like,
rent a
do it
DVD?
there.
Just rent the room and watch on your phone. All you need is the space.
I don't think it costs that much either.
And how messy can it get? It's like you're spraying the walls. Why
you
the
just
fuck
like
would you
look
do
in the
that?
room and you just look up and then you just look all around and you're like in total disgust. And you're like, Jesus, my guy, you've been holding this in since like what, the Bush administration? Fuck.
Part of the experience must be that they find it hard to mess up this space as much as possible for the poor sap who has to clean it.
That's a separate kink, I feel like. Or maybe they just like the fact that like they're doing it outside of home, if that makes sense. Like it's private, but like it's like, ooh, it's kind of almost public in a way.
It's private, but somebody knows you're in there because you rented it, and some asshole is going to have to clean up after you. So it's like this weird, shameful thing.
Yeah.
Do you think people shit in there?
We love jack-off closets. Yeah. Do you think people, like, poop?
Do you think they do weird things with their shit in there?
I think they're probably advised not to, because I think...
Do you think they straight jork it in there?
Just jorking it.
Just straight jorking it.
What would they be jorking it?
And by it,
what would they be?
Let's just say.
I mean, well,
my penis.
Well, I say that tweet to myself at least once a week. I'm just like, haha. Well, let's just say.
Let's just say
my peanuts.
My peanuts.
Jorking it.
Straight jorking it. Oh my god. Speaking of jorking it, we should probably end this.
Don't tell me you've been jorking it this whole time.
We've been jorking it for 2 hours.
Jesus. All right, we gotta stop the jorking.
You said we'd only go as long as one Venom movie.
Yeah, and then we started talking about jerk-off closets, and that can take a while. I'll say that
Cranking it and jorking it. That'll be the next Statham movie, just called Jork.
Jork. Excellent. I love that.
Excellent. Well done, Eddie. Oh wait, you're Venom.
Thank you.
Well done, buddy.
Yummy.
Oh, why is this happening to me? Kill me. Shoot me in the face. It's like every 15 minutes in this movie.
Do symbiotes reproduce? Or are they just like created by Null?
I think they reproduce like a worm. Like you cut it in half and now there's 2. It's like how there's like post-credit scenes, and one of them is that there's a bit of symbiote left in a vial. And like that's
he was jorking it. I don't know what to tell you. There's a little bit left over.
Straight jorking it.
And by that I mean let's just say my symbiote.
My symbiotes.
My symbiote peanuts.
My peanuts.
All right, let's get out of here. Well, it's been fun. We'll hunt down the Craven. We'll crave it. We're craving it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
My God.
I'm so done with these fucking Sony movies.
I'm so ready for more. I'm so ready for the Sinister Six to get their last member and fight Null.
All right, everyone. Have a good day. Wash behind your ears. Remember to jork it.
And by it.
See ya. By it.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through.
Toast to the ones here today.